The fifth stop in the 2017 Glory season returned to the south of Holland in the city of Den Bosch. Located 1 hour south of Amsterdam, Glory 41 hosted an epic night of kickboxing. The king of kickboxing, Rico Baer, returned to the Glory ring for the first time since his defeat of Badr Hari at Glory Collision. He faced the always dangerous Moroccan Ismail Lazar in a super heavyweight battle. Robin van Roosmalen looked to recapture the belt stripped from him at Glory 37 LA as he went up against Glory 39 tournament winner Petpanamrun Kiatmukau for the featherweight title. These two 5-round battles plus highlights of the one-night 4-man heavyweight contender tournament along with key welterweight, heavyweight, and light heavyweight action come your way next on Rewind. Glory 41 tournament action featured the heavyweights. Highlights from our first semifinal featured veteran Anderson Silva of Brazil going up against Giannis Stafaridis of Greece, who was making his Glory debut.
What an entertaining scrap in the heavyweight division to start things off.
Yeah, there was a lot of changes and exchanges, and it was really the start where Stafaridis came out, didn't get that knockdown there, but came back, scored a second knockdown with the first one official. But in that second round, Silva really showed his experience, started being more busy, putting combinations together, and really looked at changing levels with his punches. And it looked like a big body shot that Stafaridis couldn't really recover from.
Now keep in mind, in tournament format, if you get knocked down twice in one round, the fight's over. So, had that first knockdown been ruled a knockdown, Stafaridis wouldn't have had to deal with a second round, he would have won. So I'm sure they're not too happy about that, but in the end, Anderson Silva did what he had to do. Let's make it official now as we send it in to Tim Hughes.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee, Tobias Gerald, steps in and waves this contest off. And an official time of 2 minutes, 26 seconds of that second round, declaring your winner by technical knockout, who now advances to the tournament final, Anderson Silva.
So coming up off the canvas to earn a knockout of his own, Anderson Silva awaited his opponent, the winner of semifinal 2. That semifinal saw favored D'Angelo Marshall take on Mohamed Abdallah, also making his Glory debut. Highlights of this battle almost take as long as the fight itself.
And these highlights are all one-sided as D'Angelo Marshall overwhelmed Abdallah with his boxing. Threw his punches in bunches until Abdallah couldn't take anymore and hit the canvas. After that first knockdown, D'Angelo smelled blood and kept coming forward. 2 knockdowns, 1 round in a tournament format, the fight's over.
Let's make it official now. Into the ring we go, and Tim Hughes.
Ladies and gentlemen, you watched it as it happened. This bout comes to an end just 48 seconds into that first round and ends by knockout. For your winner, now punching his ticket to the tournament final, D'Angelo Marshall.
Without hardly breaking a sweat, favorites D'Angelo Marshall and Anderson Silva met in the final.
Todd Grisham, Joseph Baltellini here ringside as we jump into our highlights from the heavyweight contender tournament final.
A lot of these highlights are going to be about this active forward volume of D'Angelo Marshall, who just kept coming forward, throwing his boxing, really changing angles, landing some good knees on the inside. Braddock really tried counter-punching and really tried hitting the body, mixing in some left kicks, but just didn't have that power in that third round. Could it be the conditioning, or was it that first fight of Silva that took most of his energy out of him? But you can see that although the landed, the throw, all favors D'Angelo Marshall.
D'Angelo Marshall, who's already won 2 tournaments in Super Combat in 2013 and 2015, may have just done it again here in Glory in 2017. Who's headed to the Big Apple? Let's find out from Tim Hughes.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of tournament action, we once again go to the judges' scorecard to our 5 ringside judges. Here are the totals. One judge scores at 29-28. The other 4 all have it 30-27. A unanimous decision for your winner. And now, Glory Contender Tournament Champion, D'Angelo Marshall!
With the victory, D'Angelo Marshall captures the Ramon Deckers Trophy and moves up 10 spots in the rankings and one step closer to a title shot. Later on in Rewind, the king of kickboxing returns to glory for the first time in 2017. And coming up, Robin van Roosmalen looks to reclaim the featherweight belt. But up next, we highlight key bouts from featherweight, lightweight, and light heavyweight divisions in glory. June 10th at the Accor Hotels Arena, Glory 42 Paris. The top fighters in France take on the best of the rest of the world. Salvador, Hammerlane, Camayo, Wamba, and Johan Lidon versus Johan Congolo. Plus, the rematch everyone wants as the conquering hero returns. It's Cedric Doumbé versus Nicky Holzken for the welterweight title. Glory 42 Paris, a night of French stars. June 10th at the Accor Hotels Arena, Paris. Don't miss it. Welcome back to the Brabant Holland in Den Bosch for Glory 41 Holland. Besides the upcoming title fight between Robin van Roosmalen and Pet Panamroon Kapmukau for the featherweight title, two other key bouts took place in the division, featuring four newcomers looking to make an impact in their Glory debuts. We begin with highlights from the opening bout of the night, when Zakaria Zugari of the Netherlands took on Yetkin Ozkul of Turkey.
What a fight it was in the featherweight division.
Yeah, these are the highlights that we like to see over and over again. Both guys really laid it out there, trying to make this fight as spectacular as possible. It was the early boxing of Ozkul that seemed to be doing the biggest damage. Zugari started throwing some good punches. There was that knockdown that wasn't called. But as the second and third round progressed, it just showed how aggressive Zugari is. Started showing good boxing, trying to land that switch left knee multiple times, but it was Ozkul just continually calling him on, trying to bait him in, trying to go for that knockout.
At one point, Ozkul said, look, I'll let you hit me in the face free of charge, but that strategy did not seem to pan out very well. 137 total strikes landed by Double Z.
And you gotta look at the strikes absorbed. That was Ozkul keeping his hands down, calling on Zugari to hit him. But let me tell you, great performance by both guys, and I would love to see both of them back.
The official decision now from Tim Hughes.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of kickboxing, we go to the judges' scorecard. Here are the totals from our 5 ringside judges. They all see about the same and score it 30-27, a unanimous decision for your winner, Zakaria Zugari.
Highlights from the other bout of the featherweights making their first appearance in Glory saw Chen Long Zhong of China go up against Wilson Sanchez Mendez of Cape Verde.
Chen Long Zhong's Glory debut was brilliant.
And there was that knockdown we saw in the first round with those beautiful flying knee from Zhang, but he stayed composed, picked his shots, and the biggest difference with those left kicks from his southpaw stance, he started mixing levels, really started hurting the legs of Sanchez, but that's what really set up that high kick. All those low kicks led to that one beautiful high kick knockdown.
And not many fighters on planet Earth get up from that type of head kick, but Wilson Sanchez Mendez did just that. He goes the distance despite that shot, and you can see him absorb 64 shots to the head, 28 to the body. Tim Hughes will make it official right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of kickboxing, we go to the judges' scorecard. Here are the totals from our 5 ringside judges. 2 of our judges see the bout 29-26. The remaining 3 score at 30-25, a unanimous decision. All for your winner, Chen Long Zhong.
Highlights from the lightweight action which followed featured the Wonder Boy, Tijani Bestati, undefeated in Glory, taking on Yusuf Asweek out of Denmark.
Outstanding fight between Tijani Bestati and Tijani Bestati and Yusuf Asweek.
Yeah, and it started off early with that knockdown from Asweek with that spinning back fist, and we thought Bestati was in trouble, but he scored a nice left hook knockdown in the first round of himself. But in the second round, Bestati just started to take over. Really started to land good punches, mixing levels with his strikes, and I was just so impressed with how composed he was, You know, even being down in the first round, he was able to collect his mind, collect his thoughts, and come back and score a good victory.
It was a great night for the Wonder Boy, despite being knocked down. Look at the punches. 75 landed for Bastati.
And he was going after that head of this week with that boxing, but he did well because he set it up to the body, and that's what impressed me the most with those knockouts. Bastati's level changes with his boxing.
Let's send it into the ring now, and Tim Hughes.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of kickboxing, we go to the judges' scorecard. Here are the totals from our 5 ringside judges. All 5 seed about the same and score it 30-26 for your winner by unanimous decision, Tijani Bastati.
In one of the most anticipated fights of the night, Michael Dude took on Morad Bouzidi in light heavyweight action. Anticipated as a battle royale, the highlights were anything but.
And here are the highlights, and there weren't a ton of them.
Well, I think the big thing that got Dude's emotions all out of whack is that cut that happened where he felt he was showing Paul Nichols after the fight that it was Bouzidi's elbow, but constant warning, first for a headbutt, and then he kept trying to go in there. And in that clinch, Paul Nichols had enough of it, waved off that fight, calling it a DQ win for Morad Bouzidi.
Paul Nichols telling us that after 3-point deductions, the fight is over. It's a disqualification. He didn't have any other choice. Here's the official decision.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, you watched it as it happened. We have an official time of 2 minutes, 18 seconds of that second round when our referee, Paul Nichols, steps in and waves this fight off. For your winner, by disqualification, Morad Bouzidi.
From being victorious in the 2016 Fight of the Year, Michael Dude is disqualified in stunning fashion based on the maximum 3-point deduction. With the victory, his 5th in the last 6 Glory bouts, Morad Bouzidi moves up in the rankings of the light heavyweight division. Still to come, it's the King of Kickboxing versus the Star in a super fight heavyweight clash. But up next, the vacant featherweight belt will be vacant no more. GloryShop.com is your stop for all things Glory Kickboxing. Represent your favorite world-class strikers and get your own t-shirts, hoodies, hats, training gear, and more. Join your favorite fight club and get your Glory gear today. GloryShop.com. Tradition, style, glory. Welcome back to Rewind. Before we get to the featherweight title fight, highlights from the welterweight division as Dutch native Myrtle Groenhart took on Alan Scheinsen of Argentina.
Let's go to the highlights from our welterweight battle between Myrtle Groenhart and Alan Scheinsen.
Well, in that first round, both of them came out very aggressive, like they promised. Groenhart said he was going to get that knockout in the first round, almost got it, but came in with that beautiful high kick where should have been called the knockdown, but Groenhart seemed to find energy in little bursts and almost finished Scheinsen many times, but Scheinsen kept good forward pressure, good combinations. He was the more active of the two. He landed more, but Myrtle seemed to do most of the damage.
Here are our final strike stats. Alan Scheinsen wins that category, Joe, but is it enough to win the fight?
Well, according to the judges that we saw online, we'll see.
97 total strikes landed for Alan Scheinsen. Both men ate a lot of headshots, but to the legs, no contest. Scheinsen carved him up. 45 absorbed for Groenhart. Now the official decision, and Tim Hughes.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of kickboxing, we go to the judges' scorecard. They give us back a split decision. Scoring this bout, 29-28 Groenhart, 29-28 Scheinsen. And our 3 remaining judges score the bout 30-27 for your winner by split decision, Myrtle Groenhart.
So Myrtle Grunhart promised a knockout, didn't get that, but landed some hellacious kicks to the head.
And this fight was about the volume and the activity of Scheinsen versus the damaging strikes of Grunhart, and that took precedent, and there's Myrtle Grunhart on his way back to that title shot.
With a split decision victory, Myrtle Grunhart moves up to number 3 in the welterweight ranking. With no time for rest, his next opponent is 5th-ranked Harut Grigorian at Glory 42 Paris on June 10th. In January of this year, Robin van Roosmalen was stripped of his featherweight belt when he failed to make weight. He got his chance to reclaim that belt at Glory 41 Holland when he faced 3rd-ranked Petpanamarum Kiatmukau.
Panamarong trying to become the youngest champion in Glory history. Van Roosmalen trying to beat down another man for his 3rd world title. Van Roosmalen in the white gloves, Petpanamarum in black.
So the biggest difference is it's Muay Thai versus kickboxing, and you're going to really look at Petpanamarum really try to use that left kick. But this isn't new territory for Robin, who's fought Sidichai twice, and Petpanamarum even trained with Sidichai preparing for this.
Van Roosmalen said there's nothing Sidichai can teach Petpanamarum that I haven't seen before. I will dispose of him by the end of round 2.
He feels his pressure is going to be the biggest difference, and what makes Robin very scary is those counter punches and counter low kicks. He stays in the pockets and counters right back.
Van Roosmalen, who's already won a world title at the weight class above this one, says he can be a welterweight champion as well. But right now, trying to get it done in the featherweight division.
Petpanamarum is going to really use that left kick, and even talking with Sidichai before the fight, he thinks Petpanamarum's left knee could be a solid weapon for him.
There's a knee right to the gut, although he doesn't have one, of Van Roosmalen.
Counters right back. Good. That's what Robin does very successful. He won't let you hit him without countering back.
Van Roosmalen not afraid to take the shot to give a shot. Made a career out of it. Usually he's the much smaller man trying to get inside, but they're about the same height here.
And the debate always with those left kicks is that they're hitting the forearm of Van Roosmalen. And there's always debates and controversy whether those are scoring or blocks.
Like an inside low kick knocked Van Roosmalen off balance. We'll know exactly how they're doing in this fight. Open scoring throughout this 5-round contest.
Nice left kick from Petpanamarum.
A 4-time champion in Thailand at Muay Thai. Petpanamarum looking for his first kickboxing title. If he beats Van Roosmalen, he's beaten one of the best all time.
Yeah, he's one of. Robin is definitely in that category for the top pound for pound right now.
Listen to the kicks there from Petpanamarum.
They seem to be slowing down the output of Robin, and that's what the judges got to be looking at.
Look at the right arm of Van Roosmalen. It's already cherry red.
But again, are those scoring or are they blocked?
They hurt, I know that. Another nice kick from Petpanamarum. Round 2 between Van Roosmalen and Petpanamarum for the featherweight championship of the world. Our judges, 2 of them given to Kiatmukau, 3 to Van Roosmalen. And for those of you not familiar with Thai customs, that is not Petpanamarum's actual last name, Kiatmukau. It's the gym he represents.
Yeah, they changed their names based on the camp they're in. So Kiatmukau is his camp in Thailand.
So there can be more than one Kiatmukau, but perhaps no Kiatmukau will ever be as good as Petpanamarum. So 3 judges give round 1 to Van Roosmalen, 2 to Petpanamarum. Van Roosmalen, the second biggest favorite on the card tonight. Number 1 is coming up next. The heavyweight champion of the world, Rico Baer.
Kiatmukau is really trying to land that left kick as his main weapon. Seems to be slowing Robin down, but keeps coming forward, keeps stalking, he keeps countering back. And that's scoring well, and that's why 3 judges gave him the first round.
A chance to be the youngest champion ever. Kiat Mukau here in Glory. I asked him why he made the switch to kickboxing. He was so successful at Muay Thai. He said the money. It's great money here. In fact, he would get the equivalent of $1 million Thai dollars if he wins this fight and then defends his world title fight. But $1 million Thai bucks, I'm not quite sure what that is, but it's not American. Still big money for a kid who grew up dirt poor in Thailand.
He wants to become an international superstar. He looks up and sees how Sidichai is, Buakaw, Yotsen Clyde, big international stars, and he wants to add his name to that list.
Well, if he could beat Robin van Roosmalen, he certainly earned it. And right now, his game plan is working pretty well. Kick, kick, and more kicks.
Well, it's working well, but the judges aren't scoring it.
Oh, and a left hand backs van Roosmalen up.
Counter left straight again.
And a body shot for Pet Panamaron. 156 wins in the career of the Professor. We'll see the judges' official scores next. Round 1, 3 judges gave to van Roosmalen, 2 to Pet Panamaron. And round 2, the same thing. 3 to van Roosmalen, 2 to Pet Panamaron Kiat Mukau. So there's your total here. Kiat Mukau has some work to do. So van Roosmalen's prediction of a second-round knockout has not come to fruition. Maybe he can do it in round 3.
The Panamaron's doing well, but looking at that scoring, like I said, these fights are very difficult to score in kickboxing. And I'm glad the judges are open scoring today, so you don't put me on the spot this time.
Well, you mentioned which fighter's doing more damage. We haven't seen a huge power shot landed from van Roosmalen, but some of those kicks from Pet Panamaron are echoing throughout this arena.
But again, they're on the forearm, so a lot of people have to look at that as blocks over scoring.
At least until van Roosmalen's arm falls off.
Well, it's tough to call. You've got to look at it. It is slowing down Robin's attacking, but he is countering back. He is being aggressive, controlling the center of the ring. And that's what judges seem to be looking at.
Van Roosmalen letting his hands go a little bit here, perhaps for the first time. Another one of those kicks that makes such a great sound. At least if you're pulling for Pet Panamaron. And a push kick sends van Roosmalen to the canvas.
He's just so young, so composed.
Pet Panamaron said he always gets nervous before fights, but never more so than this. He was so honest with us. Said, I've never been this nervous. It's the biggest fight of my life. Well, right now in round 3, he looks as relaxed as he could be.
Well, it's a new rule set that makes it very difficult for him. He knows he needs to work and improve his boxing, and it's not up to where he wants it to be.
And he's also seen what van Roosmalen has done to his opponents. Just mows right through him. Most recently, Matt Emery. Total punches, van Roosmalen leads that category. We always thought he would. 38-23. But kicks, even more decisively, tilt towards the Professor.
Panamaron, what he does well is control distance.
Your thoughts on that decision?
Well, I'm not sure if he was given a warning, but I know Paul Nichols had a conversation with him in the back room, to stay away from the clinch.
I'm sure some of Panemarong's fans, including the ones booing here, said, listen, you're a little quick on the trigger there. You know, Joe, let's just say, and it could have happened, all 5 judges were going to give that round to Panemarong, but now with the point deduction, he loses the round. That could completely change the outcome of this fight.
Yeah, definitely. Especially with 2 of the judges have been scoring it for Panemarong, where 3 have been constantly giving Van Roosmalen the advantage.
One judge scores at 9-9, and that may have been a late knee. Van Roosmalen says, wait, he cannot knee me in the face when I'm on the ground. So far, one judge has it even. The other 4 give it to Van Roosmalen. Bottom line, Panemarong has to win these next 2 rounds.
Yeah, he needs to win these 2.
Nice 1-2 there from Van Roosmalen.
Well, the no clinch point deduction could be a big advantage for Robin because Panemarong is going to be nervous in that range to clinch again. So, which is going to help open up the boxing of Van Roosmalen.
Look at the redness and the welts all over the back, the rib cage, and the arm of Van Roosmalen. Boxing versus kicking. You see the strikes landed.
Well, on paper, you thought Van Roosmalen had a big advantage, and a lot of people thought he was going to walk past Panemarong. But Panemarong's doing a good job at establishing that left kick and staying busy with it and avoiding those big power punches of Van Roosmalen.
Not only is that kick powerful, but it is so quick. Just like that.
I feel he needs to change angles, levels a little bit more with that kick. Instead of constantly going to the arm, which could be counted as a block, going to the inside low kick, the back leg, or the high kick could be a better option.
This is one of those fights that Robin Van Roosmalen is going to be feeling tomorrow all over his left side, or his right side, rather. Oh. Who's the hardest kicker you've ever been in the ring with?
That's a tough question. I can't even think of that. I'm usually the one kicking people, so.
You're the hardest kicker in there, huh? You would think Panemarong's left leg would begin to start to hurt.
After 185 fights, I don't think he feels anything of that left shin anymore.
To go for the featherweight championship of the world. Again, 3 rounds. Give it to Van Roosmalen, 2 to Kiat Mukau. We'll look at the totals now. And it seems that Kiat Mukau will at least need a knockdown.
Well, that's why he needs to change levels with those kicks. Take that left kick to the head or to the leg. That's how he's going to get his knockout.
Either way, a great performance for Kiat Mukau. Many people thought he wouldn't last the entire 5 rounds.
It's a very technical fight.
And now Van Roosmalen trying to be the bully.
Letting his hands go on the inside, mixing in hooks and uppercuts.
He knows a left kick's coming. There it is, and another one. Under 2 to go. Left hook to the body for Van Roosmalen. And remember that point deduction in round 3, which gave the entire round to Van Roosmalen. Could have gone to Kiat Mukau. We'd have a completely different fight right now.
This is a very interesting fight, and Robin's been in a lot of these types of hard-scoring fights, especially against Thai fighters. And this will be the ongoing debate on the arm kick scoring.
If I remember correctly, all 5 judges gave it a 10-9 round for Van Roosmalen, which meant it would have gone 10-9 the other way for Pet Panamarung had he not been deducted a point.
I think one judge gave it a 9-9 round.
Less than a minute to go. Can Pet Panamarung land a decisive left kick, perhaps to the skull of Van Roosmalen, to send him down and out?
5 rounds, constant pressure from Van Roosmalen.
Total strikes are very close. 131 landed for Pet Panamarung, 129 for Van Roosmalen. Right hand snaps Pet Panamarung's head backwards. 10 seconds to go.
Both trying to exchange in the last 10 seconds.
And that is it.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 5 championship rounds, we go to the judges' scorecard. Here are the totals from our 5 ringside judges. One judge scores this bout even, 47-47. One scores it 48-46. One has it 50-44. And our 2 remaining judges score the bout 49-45 for your winner by majority decision. And now, Glory Featherweight Champion of the World, Ruben Van Roosmalen.
In a fight closer than the decision would indicate, Robin Van Roosmalen regains the featherweight title. He awaits the winner of the featherweight contender tournament at Glory 43 New York to find out who he'll fight in his first title defense. They say don't judge a book by its cover in what appears to be a mismatch physically. The super heavyweight fight of the night is up next. GloryShop.com is your stop for all things Glory Kickboxing. Represent your favorite world-class strikers and get your own t-shirts, hoodies, hats, training gear, and more. Join your favorite fight club and get your Glory gear today. GloryShop.com. Tradition, style, glory. Before we get to the main event of the evening, highlights from one other heavyweight battle that took place when Glory veteran Hesdy Gerges took on Tomas Ron, who stepped in on short notice for Chai Lewis Perry, who was unable to fight for the second time in 3 months.
Our heavyweight attraction between Hesdy Gerges and Tomas Ron has gone final, and it was all about Hesdy.
Hesdy in that forward pressure, really closing the distance, getting on the inside, showcasing some good hands, and it was those low kicks, time after time after time, really slowed down Ron. And then in round 3 was the same kind of pressure. A lot of clinching between the two, but Paul Nichols really showing that he's got that tough chin.
Look at this. Oh, did it miss? He ducked it. I thought he took the shot. Come on, Paul. You gotta stay in the pocket. What are you doing?
Showing good head movement.
Here are your stats. As you can see, the majority of the effective strikes lean towards the Egyptian Hesdy Gerges. And strikes absorbed head and legs. 37 to the head, 34 to the legs. Hesdy Gerges is back, ladies and gentlemen. We send it into the ring. And Tim Hughes.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of kickboxing, we go to the judges' scorecard. Here are the totals from our 5 ringside judges. They all score about the same, 30-24, a unanimous decision for your winner, Hesdy Gerges.
It's been 6 months since that historic night in Germany when Rico Baer stood atop as the #1 heavyweight in the world, following his TKO victory over the legend Badr Hari. His opponent at Glory 41 Holland would be former heavyweight champion of Infusion, Ismail Lazar, with a career record of 30 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw.
Will we see another dominant victory for the King? Or can Lazar pull off perhaps the biggest upset in the history of Glory? It's a heavyweight super fight in Den Bosch, Netherlands. And here we go. 5 rounds. Rico in the white gloves, Lazar in the black.
Rico's gonna want to keep Lazar at the end of his punches. That's why he's throwing that jab, staying long, make it difficult for Lazar to try to get inside.
The crowd about split 50-50. Lazar from nearby as well. A lot of Moroccan fans waiting to explode here tonight. No fear from Lazar. He'll come right at you all night long.
Well, when you fight giants, every time you fight, you can't be scared. You can't respect Rico too much. That's why he's kind of staying there. He's got to counter right back.
And if you've watched some of Lazar's highlights online, you know he has a pretty good high kick as well. He's extremely flexible.
Yeah, he has this left high kick that he throws really high. I'm sure as he loosens up, we'll start to see it.
Lazar, a massive underdog in this fight. If you wanted to win $100 on Rico winning, you'd have to put down $2,000. He's a 20-to-1 favorite. Nice uppercut from Lazar.
Probably a strategy. I can see him trying to hit the body, try to mix uppercuts. Where Rico's staying long, using that jab.
You can see how Rico keeps his left hand high as well. He knows that overhand right from Lazar is a doozy.
And everyone that fights Rico says the same thing. He executes the game plan perfect. He stays focused. He's a perfectionist.
Rico with those long, powerful legs. Look at that man's thighs, by the way. Well, they're completely natural.
Well, his kicks are one of his best weapons. So I expect him to be using his low kicks, left high kicks, body kicks. Keep defensive up top and chop away with his kicks. Nice combinations from Rico.
Another big advantage Lazar has is that he can take a punch. He'll take the abuse to land his big right hand. And a right hand there towards the end of the round as Rico has something to say, and I guess the bell rang there.
And it's 5 rounds, and when asked what he thinks about the 5 rounds, he's like, I like it. It gives me 5 different opportunities to try to put Rico out.
All 5 judges scored 10-9 for Glory's heavyweight champion, Rico Baer. Not only is Lazar excited about 5 rounds, he predicted he'd knock out Rico and would do it in the 5th round.
There's that overhand right he keeps landing. That seems to be his best shot that he's been landing.
There's your punches to the head. Verhoeven with 21, Lazar with 8. What do you make so far of the strategy of Ismail Lazar?
Well, he's doing well. He's showing that he can take it and stand in the pocket with Rico. He's got to keep moving his head off of Rico's jab and try to counter with that overhand right.
Ismail Lazar has never been knocked out. In fact, he's never been knocked down, even in training. So Rico has his work cut out for him if he wants to win by KO here tonight.
Rico fighting really smart, keeping long, keeping his distance.
This is exactly what Rico wants.
Now we southpaw. Look for that left kick.
Lazar landed a grazing left hand. And if Lazar is indeed waiting for the perfect moment to throw his punch on a counter punch, what is the strike that he's waiting for Rico to throw?
Well, he's looking for Rico just to exchange on the inside, and he's looking to throw that overhand right. But if anything, it's that jab that he can slip his head off and counter with, because he knows Rico's establishing that straight punch.
Rico appears to be getting more and more comfortable, which could be a good or bad thing.
Well, I think it's going to see Rico being more active. Now that he's felt some of the power of Lazar, you'll see him starting opening up, start throwing a little bit more combinations.
A lunging uppercut connects for Lazar. Rico Baer in phenomenal shape. Even when Rico blocks some of those punches from Lazar, it still knocks him off balance. That's how much power Lazar has.
They're still going through, but Lazar just ate an uppercut.
And an inside low kick.
And those inside low kicks Rico throws to the inside back leg is a very difficult shot to pull off.
What a jab. You could see Lazar's head snap back. We haven't had a magical moment quite yet, although the mouth guard being knocked out was pretty spectacular. We'll see the official judges' scores here in a moment. Another 10-9 round for all 5 judges. So Verhoeven up 2 rounds to none over Ismail Lazar.
And by Rico being active on the outside like this, it makes it very difficult for a forward fighter like Lazar to come in, because he has to eat punches. But when Lazar's in there on the inside, he has to capitalize. Put those punches in bunches and go.
Push kick has become a pretty good weapon for Rico in this fight.
Yeah, and same with that inside back leg low kick.
I would think a push kick would be a very frustrating kick to absorb over and over, just like a jab.
Yeah, and it's the strategy to use. When you're a taller fighter and you're fighting a shorter pressure fighter, straight attacks work, jabs, right hands, front kicks, because that shorter fighter needs to get on the inside.
Now Rico's starting to open up a little bit. Nice combination. Started in the head, ended with a low kick.
The combination on the inside that seems to be working is that right uppercut, left hook, follow low kick. One of my favorites to throw on the inside.
We haven't seen a high kick attempt from Lazar yet, I don't believe.
No, he's relying solely on his boxing.
Now when he gets inside, he's being a little gun-shy as Lazar. There he is in there.
Could be the fatigue factor building up.
A minute to go here in round 3. With a kick distribution from Verhoeven. Head, body, and leg. Lazar hasn't landed a head kick or a body kick.
Now, his best weapon earlier on in the fight was that overhand right. But since then, Rico made the adjustment. He's keeping his left guard really tight and shut down that overhand right.
If Lazar was to win this fight, it would have to be by knockout. No one thought he was going to win on a points decision. So even though he's losing the first 2 rounds and maybe the third as well, it's no time to panic for Lazar. Still has 6 minutes left to do something. Rico using his distance beautifully to land that right hand while he was backing up. Lazar is known for being bold and fearless. May have to see some of that here in the last 2 rounds.
Well, a lot of people asked why this was a 5-round fight, and Lazar was happy with a 5 because if that was a 3-round fight, the fight would be over. So Lazar does have 2 more chances if it can go to a 5th round.
Lazar's fans trying to build some confidence, get some fire under him.
There he goes, trying to counter back with some combinations of his own.
Left hand, a little baby hook there from Lazar. Look at Rico, just trying to chop the tree down.
Well, it's that combination. He threw a punch, a knee, and a kick all in one combination. Constantly changing levels. He jabs you, front kicks you, inside low kick, then he attacks the back leg, outside leg, constantly changing his areas of attack.
And it looks like Rico's no longer fearing the power of Lazar. He's more willing to come inside now instead of staying at distance the entire time.
Rico's even comfortable staying in southpaw.
Earlier it was Lazar trying to push the pace. Now look at Rico walking forward. Oh, he could have landed a right hand there. Lazar has to be careful. Lazar told us he's in shape to go 10 rounds, much less 5.
It'd be interesting to see Lazar attack Rico when he's in his southpaw with aggressive boxing. Test Rico's defense from the southpaw.
A switch kick from Lazar.
And there's a smirk, it looked like, on Rico's face.
He appreciates the technique.
Maybe he was impressed that Lazar was able to do it.
There was the right hand that Lazar's been looking for. Didn't come close. Does Lazar still have the power after eating all these shots?
Doesn't seem like it. We'll see, though. He predicted a 5th round.
5th round knockout. That was a prediction from Lazar. That means it'll happen in these final 3 minutes. Another rather dominant round for Rico Verhoeven. It's 4 rounds to none. 3 minutes to go here in this heavyweight super bout.
Let's see what Lazar can put together, if he can put any threat and combinations together.
Hey, one judge gave round 4 to Lazar. So there's that moral victory. So now, does Rico just coast home, or does he try and please the home crowd here?
Well, he tried moving and ate a right hand, but I don't know Dutch, but it looked like Dennis Crowell in the corner of Rico was telling him to use his kicks.
And there was one right there. Upper thigh.
Straight punches and kicks from Rico.
Rico told us a knockout for him just wasn't important. He just wanted to win. If a knockout came, it came. But right now, it's looking more and more like a points victory, and a dominant one at that for Verhoeven. We haven't seen Lazar just go beast mode and just throw lefts and rights at the head.
Well, there was some early exchanges, but I think he was discouraged early from the tight defense of Rico.
Just nothing behind those punches for Lazar, even though he gets inside.
Wicked combination from Rico. Ripped the body, then ripped an uppercut right up the middle.
A minute to go here, the 5th and final round. And you can see when Lazar gets inside, it's just a jab and a right hand that just doesn't have anything behind it.
No, there's not much. Rico keeps mixing knees and uppercuts.
Oh, there's a left hand, and it may have staggered Rico. And there's a right hand, and here comes Rico fighting back.
And he makes an uppercut in that combination.
The best moment of the fight for Lazar, but does he have the energy to follow it up?
Another right hand from Lazar.
Oh, and an uppercut from Rico. 10 seconds to go. Rico's going for the home run shot.
He finally opened up there.
And that's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 5 rounds of kickboxing, we go to the judges' scorecard. Here are the totals from our 5 ringside judges. One has it 49-46. The other 4 see it the same, 50-45. All for your winner by unanimous decision, Rico Baer.
That will do it for this edition of Rewind. We'll be back with another edition following Glory 42 Paris, where Cedric Doumbé will defend his welterweight title against rival Nicky Holskin, looking for revenge and redemption following his only defeat in the Glory ring at the hands of Doumbé at Glory Collision. It's coming away on Saturday, June 10th. Check your local listings for date and time in your area. June 10th at the Accra Hotels Arena, Glory 42 Paris. The top fighters in France take on the best of the rest of the world. Salvador, Hammerlane, Camayo, Wamba, and Johan Lidon versus Johan Congolo. Plus, the rematch everyone wants as the conquering hero returns. It's Cedric Doumbé versus Nicky Holskin for the welterweight title. Glory 42 Paris, a night of French stars. June 10th at the Accra Hotels Arena, Paris. Don't miss it.
Are you ready for